What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Final Pick Podcast. I'm your host, Zachary, and I'm here as always with my co-host to the side of me.
What's up, guys? It's Van.
And tomorrow is not the start of the NFL season, but the first Sunday of the football season. We obviously had the first game this past Thursday in pretty much a blowout when the Rams took on the Buffalo Bills. The Bills won 31-10. Before we get started with predictions for this upcoming week, do you have any thoughts on the Thursday night game?
Yeah, the Rams need to fix their interior O-line. Don't get me wrong, the Bills D-line is amazing, but that Rams O-line is what lost them the game. They could not get any blocks against them. Matthew Stafford had 15 quarterback hits, 7 sacks. He had no time in the pocket. It was just a bad night for him. The guy's already injured. He has to take 22 hits from the Bills D-line. It's just you're not going to win like that.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm kind of nervous for Stafford this year. The elbow's obviously been a concern. He faced constant pressure all game. And credit to the Bills. They had a top 5 team last year in pressure rate, and they go out there and add players like Von Miller, just adding on to the already stacked pass rush. But, Stafford did not look good. He was doing a bunch of checkdowns to Kupp.
The white guys?
To Kupp. Shronick actually had a somewhat decent game. Allen Robinson was nowhere to be found, which I expect to change in the upcoming weeks. But overall, just not a great game at all for the Rams offense. No rushing attack whatsoever. Obviously a big thing in the fantasy world, but Cam Akers just having to barely play. I think I saw
Isn't that probably like the shittiest way to start a fantasy league? Like there was definitely guys that there's not definitely, it's 100% that there's Cam Akers was started that night. And by like 100% of the people that had him, guy got taken 4th, 3rd round in some leagues. And, that's bad. Like that's just the worst way to start off fantasy, dude. Like that's fucking insane to me.
Yeah, I think Daryl Henderson played. I think I saw 82% of the snaps last game, which is higher than any game he was last year. They had Sony Michel as second running back. I know Kyron Williams got injured in the game. I don't know if he was going to be used as a third down back at all for this team. But overall, I expect Cam Akers to probably be more involved. But when you see a play like on that was a third down, there's a play where he should have stepped up to block an incoming blitzer, and he just kind of moved out the way. That's not going to get you snaps. So he's got to overall get a lot better. It's tough to come back from Achilles injury. The next person to come back from Achilles injury at running back will be the first to be as good as they once was. But that is enough for the game. Just want to throw one more thing, though. Josh Allen is an absolute monster. But we kind of already knew that. But let's get into basically previews and predictions. First game up, I'm just going to go in order for what I have on the list right here. We got the Saints versus the Falcons. Saints got Jameis Winston coming back. Got a pretty stacked receiving group. Obviously, Michael Thomas is questionable to play, but I believe he is going to end up playing this week. And the Falcons got a brand new QB starting with Marcus Mariota, replacing Matt Ryan from last year.
Yeah, I don't think it's very – here's the thing. This is one of those games where it's like it's going to be 100% everybody picking the Saints to win. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons did win. Like it's all based on how Jameis Winston shows up, and we don't know what the Falcons' offense is going to be like. We're all predicting it to be ass, but we really don't know anything. That's why Week 1 is probably the worst week to put money on. If you want to lose money in gambling, bet on Week 1. Like you just don't know anything. Point blank period, you don't know anything. So I do have the Saints just like everybody else, but. I would not be surprised if it was an upset.
Yeah, division opponent, I got the Saints as well. It is in Atlanta. It'll be interesting to see the game and see how Jameis bounces back. First game for the new head coach, but I expect the Saints to win. That defense is just too good. Atlanta, they got Kyle Pitts out there. Drake London is questionable, but I think he will be playing. It's going to be tough for that offense to move the ball. So I got the Saints winning that one.
Yeah.
The first game. Next up, I think another easy one. We got San Francisco traveling to Chicago. I think you've made some pretty bold statements about Chicago throughout the offseason.
What bold statements have I made about Chicago? That they're the worst team in the NFL? That's not bold at all. That's just the truth. They're fucking terrible.
They are pretty bad, but you've gone out to say flat out they are the worst.
They are.
So I'm guessing I know who your pick's going to be.
No, I'm going with the Bears this game. I think there's going to be enough. No, I'm just fucking with you. I think the Niners are going to win this game. Although the Bears fans truly do believe they're coming out with the dub. I mean, as my cousin does as well. He thinks the Bears are going to come out with the dub. But I'm going to go with the Niners because it's an obvious choice. They're just a better team all around. That defense is still top 5. And the only question mark really is Trey Lance. But if he comes out firing like some people think he will, I mean, it's the perfect defense to start against because the Bears aren't very good.
Yeah, I mean, San Francisco should probably win this one. They'll probably take a huge lead in the first half and then just start going run heavy to the entire second half. So I expect the Niners to go ahead and win that one pretty easily. Justin Fields, we'll see how he does in the second year. A lot of times by the end of the second season, you know you got your QB for the most part. It's not really QBs that really improve much after the end of their second year from what they were before. So we'll see. Well, there's just not a good track record. I mean, really, besides Josh Allen, after year 2, you pretty much know what you got in your QB.
I'm all right. Hidden disses. Let's get on to the next game, bro. I'm not having this.
All right, we got Pittsburgh traveling to Cincinnati. Brand new QB in Pittsburgh and Mitchell Trubisky. And they're going to be traveling to where the AFC champions play.
Yeah, so my take on this is Cincinnati's going to maul them. I don't think it's going to be right off a rip. It's going to be a blowout. We thought that last year with the Bills-Steelers week 1, and the Steelers ended up winning the game. And I think they only allowed like 17 points to the Bills, which is amazing. But I have the Bengals, obviously, and I also want to say this. Start Cincinnati defense in fantasy. I feel like it's going to be one of those games where Cincinnati has 2 pick sixes. Either Kenny Pickett or Mason Rudolph will probably be starting by week 2 or week 3. That's why I think I don't think it's going to be a close game at all. And if it is, it's going to be because of the Steelers defense, but the DBs aren't that good. I don't know. Steelers are a bad team in my opinion.
Actually, it's going to be a pretty close game. I think Cincinnati's going to be coming off a championship high. Not championship, but an AFC championship high. And they're going to start off the game somewhat slow to begin the games. The Steelers have a pretty good defense, and one thing is they're one of the best coach teams in the NFL. Mike Tomlin just always finds a way to get his teams ready to compete. And I mean, Trubisky isn't great. We all know that. But he also can help a team, win games. I mean, he is a QB that's made the playoffs multiple times in his career as a starter. Not saying I think Steelers make the playoffs, nothing like that. But he's not going to necessarily put the game in harm's way. And they got a running back. They're going to get the ball to a lot of Najee Harris. They got some good receivers. So saying all that, I have Cincinnati winning, but I have them winning in a pretty close game to get the year.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it being close in the first half, but I feel like it's going to take that. I feel like it's going to be very slow in the beginning as well. But I feel like once Cincinnati gets one deep touchdown, I feel like it's going to start rolling.
All right, next one. Maybe this is the first one that maybe you have to think about it a little bit, at least.
Okay.
Philadelphia at Detroit.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means, but I do think Philly's going to beat the brakes off them. Like, meaning it's going to be a double-digit win, I think. I have Philly. A very obvious choice for me. I think Philly's going to be a very good team. And Detroit's it's still missing pieces, let's be honest.
I don't like the fact that we keep agreeing on every pick.
I mean, it's obvious picks, though. How do you disagree? We'll have some down the line that are 50-50s. I have some sleepers this week.
It's not for a good podcast if we keep agreeing on everything. So
I'm not going to say bullshit. I'm going to be right about shit.
For that reason only, I'm going to go with Detroit this week. I like Detroit. They got good O-line, so they're going to be able to stop that pass rush from Philly. I think Swift's going to have a good game. They got some nice receivers out there, and they got Dan Campbell's going to be out there biting some kneecaps off. I'm going to go with the upset, Detroit winning at home to begin their season.
All right, I don't hate it. Like, it's definitely a possibility. There's a few games like that are possibilities. We'll get to them when we get to them, but it's a definite possibility. I take the Eagles, especially after last year when they played. Everybody thought that was gonna be a close game too. Eagles just fucking killed them. So it could just be a matchup thing. You never know. But I'm taking the Eagles all the way.
All right, this one is going to be a pretty obvious pick for you. We got New England traveling to Miami. I think you can just stand up to show who you're going to be picking. And I am going to go ahead and go with the home team as well. I'm going to go with the home team to win this game. It's going to be interesting to see how the new offense looks. The one concern is Tua's had a very good track record against Patriots throughout his career. But let's see if Bill Belichick can scheme something up. He's had pretty much all offseason to prepare for week 1.
Yeah, and he's got 5 days in Florida to acclimate for the fucking weather, whatever that fucking means.
So it'll be interesting to see how he decides to scheme up a game plan against Tua this week. But I do think Dolphins going to win. I think they just have too much speed on the outside and just more talent overall than New England does.
One thing I do want to say is I don't think it's going to be like a off rip blowout. Like I don't think it's going to be Tyreek Hill 60 yards. I think it's going to be over 3 points. That's for damn sure. I'm making money off this game. Just know this. But that's the spread 2.5. But it's going to be over 3. I know that. But I think it's going to be over. I think it's going to be over double digits. But what I'm saying is I don't think it's going to be Tyreek this, Waddle deep. There's not going to be a lot of deep shit. I feel like that's all smokescreen. I feel like it's going to be a lot of running. I feel like it's going to be a lot of Edmonds, a lot of Mostert to start off the game. And if we take a lead early, I feel like we'll start letting loose.
Well, I'll say this. I don't expect Tyreek to have a great game just because Bill Belichick, what's he going to do? He's going to go ahead and make sure that your best player doesn't do good. So Tyreek's going to be seeing a lot of double teams. But, I mean, it's not something he's never seen before. So we'll go ahead and see how the game turns out. But the next game.
Hold up. I think this is a big week for Jalen Waddle. Just want to say that, too, for fantasy purposes. I think it's a big game for Jalen Waddle.
I feel I'm hearing you say that a lot this year.
Maybe. And if I'm right, you're not gonna stop hearing it. So
next up, we got the Baltimore Ravens traveling to MetLife to play against the New York Jets. We got Joe Flacco playing against his former team, the Baltimore Ravens. Has he ever played against the Ravens before as an opponent?
I don't think so. If he did, maybe with the Broncos.
So it's going to be an interesting game. It is going to be in New York. Like I said before, we get Breece Hall's first real game action, although it looks like Michael Carter might be the starter over there. Dwayne Brown has been placed on IR. He came in to replace Mike Becton. And now they're down to the third string left tackle to start against Baltimore. Who do you got in this one?
So, as you guys all might remember, I made a pretty bold statement like 2 months ago going with the Jets.
Yes, you did. And I hope you double down on it.
Here's the thing, though. It's not the same team. It's not Zach Wilson. It's not Young Legs. It's not Amazing Arm anymore. It's Joe fucking Flacco. So that being said, if I'm putting money on it, I'm going with the Ravens. But since we're on the fucking podcast, I'm sticking with the fucking Jets. Joe Flacco, comeback game. He's getting his revenge. You want to go with L-Jack over me? Say less. Revenge, Jets beating the Ravens. That defense is going to be all over Lamar's ass. I'm sticking to it on here, but if my money's on it, I'm not talking about it on the podcast.
So he's going with the Jets. And you know what? I am not agreeing with you at all. I'm going with Baltimore. I think they got way too much time on paper. I'm interested to kind of see how Lamar is, though, because we know he's had some contract disputes going on. Let's see if that plays into the game at all. Maybe if the offense is maybe not as much centered around Lamar running as before, or however he normally plays. Maybe he's kind of thinking of the contract type stuff, like I said, that will serve my body. I'm just interested to see if the offense looks a little bit different this year due to the fact they couldn't agree on an extension. But either way,
if he's like that, which I think he is, he's going to put his money where his mouth is. He's going to excel.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's why I'm still going with Baltimore. And I think that defense is going to look very, very good this year, as long as, of course, they stay healthy.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Washington to play the newly led Commanders, led by Carson Wentz, who last time he stepped on a football field lost to the Jaguars in Week 17 to make the playoffs.
I know you remember it.
Oh, I definitely do.
It's almost as if you went to the game and watched your team get kicked out of the playoffs.
Anyways, who do you got in this one?
This one's the first true 50-50. I truly believe that. So I had Washington, just because I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a lot better this year. I think they got a way better coach. But I just feel like if I'm looking at rosters, I'm going with Washington. It's complete flip of a coin, but I'm going Washington in this game.
I'm going to go ahead and go with Jacksonville, the visiting team. I think we've kind of seen throughout the years Carson Wentz might not be the most mentally strong guy, most mentally tough. And, it's going to somewhat play a factor that he's playing against a team that basically just took him out of his last home. I think it's going to play some form factor into this game. I know Chase Young is not playing, right? I'm pretty sure that he's still on the PUP list.
Chase
IR,
Young
so
is not playing, no.
Yeah. So that's definitely going to help the Jacksonville O-line quite a bit. And, I expect a big year for Trevor Lawrence. Doug Peterson, someone who's played against Washington before. So it's definitely no stranger to him since he was with the Eagles for multiple years. I think Jacksonville is going to start off hot this year. And, they could be about 7-8 win team this year if everything goes right. So I like Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think it's 50-50. But, yeah, whatever happens, happens, You just never know. Week 1's so difficult. Week 2 is going to get a little easier. But Week 1's so hard.
So maybe the game of the week, the Cleveland Browns heading to Carolina to play against Baker Mayfield, who was just recently traded from the Cleveland Browns, making his first career start against a team that gave up on him. They decided to trade for that other guy, and now he gets to have his revenge week 1.
Unpopular opinion. I don't think it's gonna be. I didn't even think about it. I don't care. I'm going with Cleveland Browns. I don't think Baker's gonna come out. Don't get me wrong. I think Baker's. If the Panthers win, that's gonna be a hell of a story. But look at the paper, bro. The Browns are just a way better roster all around. Maybe besides quarterback now, but I think they could just run it down their throat with Hunt and Chubb. And I see a lot of people going towards the Panthers because of Baker's story, but no, I'm not buying that. I think the Browns are going to win this game still.
When does Baker Mayfield play his best? When he has a chip on his shoulder. We're going to get arrogant Baker back. We're going to get cocky Baker back. This man's going to go in there. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder to seek revenge against his team. They got Jacoby Brissett at QB, so they should be running the ball a lot, right? But the Panthers' defense last year was pretty good, at least against the pass, not so much against the run. And obviously, the Browns are great running the ball.
Yeah, they also had Stephon Gilmore on that team.
They did. But at the same time, they are not going to be running the ball that much because Baker's going to get the ball first, go down the field with McCaffrey, score some touchdowns. CMC is back. And they're going to go up 14-0 quick. The Browns are going to have to be passing the ball. And then that pass rush of Brian Burns, actually it's not right, it's gone, but that pass rush with Brian Burns is going to get after Brissett, and the Panthers will win big as revenge. Arrogant.
Win big?
Win big.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. You know what's going to happen? Baker Mayfield's going to walk in there with a fucking chip on his shoulder, and Myles Garrett's going to knock it the fuck off. That's what's going to happen. Baker's
going to go ahead, get a flag. He's going to get a Panthers flag and stamp it right in the middle. I know the game's in Carolina, so he can't stamp it down in Cleveland Stadium, but that's what's going to happen.
You'll see.
Baker will get his revenge.
You'll see. Cleveland will win.
Next up, we got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to Houston week 1 to play against Davis Mills. Who you got?
Not much to talk about. I'm not going to hype your dumbass team up. Colts will win. They'll beat the Texans. You guys are terrible week 1. Shaq Leonard's out. Don't think it matters. They should have kept the coach they had last year, in my opinion, Cully. They have a defensive-minded coach now. There's no way that helps. So I'm going with the Colts. Obvious decision.
Colts have not won week 1 since 2014. That is a long time. Longest streak.
Sounds like something you've been dealing with personally.
It is a little bit personal to me.
Oh.
And I agree with you. David Culley should not have been fired. I mean, you hired him to fire him. That's how I see it. The Texans, I think, are going to be actually a somewhat decent team this year. I mean, they don't have any true star power, but I just think they're going to be a very competitive team. Like, if you sleep on them, they're going to punch you in the mouth. They may not win a lot of games, but they're going to be very competitive this year, right?
Yeah.
That being said, the Colts last year in 2 games against the Texans combined to win 61-3 or 62-3, I think. And that is going to be a common theme this week, as I think the Colts will win in NRG Stadium. But the Texans don't have to deal with T.Y. Hilton, the greatest player who's ever played NRG, it seems like. So,
yeah, good thing. If you think about it, good thing they don't have to play against Andrew Luck either, or Peyton Manning, or Dallas Clark. That would suck.
Dallas Clark's a random thing to throw. They could throw.
I love Dallas Clark, bro. I used to love Dallas Clark.
Yep. All right, and then we're going on to the 4 o'clock games. We got the New York Giants traveling to Tennessee to take on a somewhat newly looked Titans team. No more Harold Landry. He suffered a torn ACL. It's going to be out for the year. No more AJ Brown. Julio Jones is out. It's kind of new looked. Who you got?
So you remember earlier when I said there's going to be some games where, like, Detroit and Philly, there's going to be some games where anybody could win, but there's an obvious choice, but the sleeper is kind of a sleeper I like. This is one of them. I like the Giants, but I'm going with the Titans. But I do think I'm going with the Titans, but I would not be surprised if the Giants won this game.
You're hyping them up. There's
no hyping them up. The Giants are ass, but I just feel like this is a game they could win.
All right. Well, I got the Titans winning this one. I really respect Mike Vrabel. It always seems like we always keep saying, the Titans aren't going to be that good. They'll probably be the first team out of the playoffs, something like that, like an 8-win team, 9-win team, something like that. But then they find a way to win the division. They find a way to get the first seed in the AFC, even with Derrick Henry missing over half the year, with AJ Brown missing time. Like Vrabel is able to get his team ready for games. And I respect the hell out of the Titans. And I got them winning this one against the Giants. Also, Giants aren't very good. So
I'd respect them too if they kept taking your division titles.
Good thing you guys have Buffalo in your division. Anyhow, we got the Green Bay Packers traveling to Minnesota. We do know that Alan Lazard is doubtful for this game. Expected to be obviously number one receiver for the Packers this year. He is doubtful, which most likely means he's not going to play. What you thinking?
Minnesota. Going with Minnesota. I was always going with them even if Alan Lazard played. They usually win the game in Minnesota every year. And if you guys watch the TikToks, obviously Adam Thielen's going to go crazy this game. But I feel like Minnesota will get this win. They'll start off 1-0. I think they're not really good at, but they will start off 1-0 against the Green Bay Packers, trying to figure out who their wide receivers are.
Yep, I agree. I got Minnesota win this one as well. Green Bay, I feel like, kind of tends to start off kind of slow, sometimes week one. Obviously, last year they lost like 38-3 against the Saints week one. Something crazy like that. And, I think Minnesota's going to be very good this year. I think their defense can be much improved. They obviously got one of the better wide receiver duos in the NFL. Great running back. Kirk Cousins, I think, will have a pretty good year again as well. So I got Minnesota winning. It's going to be interesting to see how Aaron Rodgers looks this year with a newly schemed up offense, kind of be more RB centered. And who's going to be the wide receiver this week? Tunyon's back. You got Sammy Watkins, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson is playing, I believe, right? Or is he questionable?
I don't know, but hot take: the number one wide receiver for the Packers this week will be Aaron Jones.
Oh, I could definitely see it. See it. Next up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Arizona. Arizona's known to always be pretty damn good to be in the year. But Patrick Mahomes tends to be very good right off the bat as well. Of course, also in October and November.
Yeah, I'm about to say he does pretty damn good 24/7.
But at the same time, I know he's very good to begin seasons for the most part. So you got you sniffing a home team upset this week?
You go with your take first on this one.
I got Kansas City. I think they're just a much better team. I'm not very high on Arizona this year. They lost Chandler Jones. J.J. Watt is dealing with an injury, if not mistaken. The D-line does not look very promising. Linebackers kind of have to wait and see how they look. They got Buda Baker back there in the secondary, but overall, the defense in general does not impress me too much. And with Hopkins missing about a third of the season, Edmonds is gone. I think Connor will be pretty good this year. I just don't really trust Arizona this year. I'm not big fan of them. And Kansas City, we know Kansas City is. They got the best quarterback in football. Obviously, a new wide receiver core, but I think they'll be just fine. Still got Kelsey. Juju, we've seen talent from before. And I think defense will be a bit improved. So I'm going Kansas City.
Yeah, I have Kansas City as well. Main reason is the only thing that was a little bit of a dilemma for it was they're very good week one. Just like you said, Arizona always comes out firing, no matter who's in front of them. But I think the team's a little weaker this year. The DBs are just so ass. You have Byron Murphy and Buda Baker, and that's it. Everything else is whatever. Cedric Thompson's okay, but Mahomes is going to dot that shit up all day.
All right. Next up, we got the LA Chargers playing at home. Well, maybe it's not really a home game. You never know when with the LA teams. but you got them playing Vegas. So it's going to be an individual rival, best division football. Should be a very good game. Maybe actually the best game this week.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game, very high scoring, and I hope it is, considering my fantasy team is half of those players. But I got LA Chargers. Point blank period. They want comeuppance, and they're gonna get it against the Raiders this week 1.
I got the Raiders win this week. I think Devontae Adams is going to go stupid. Who on that team's going to guard Devontae Adams?
Me?
You might be able to. I mean, they got no J.C.
No,
Jackson.
that sometimes when they have a really good receiver out there, they put Derwin on him, or at least they have a second zone on him. But they do have, they have Asante, who's too small, but they have Asante. They have Callahan, who's a slot corner.
A slot. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying that to say, they got so many weapons. J.C. Jackson being out is going to hurt. And overall, I mean, I'm a fan of what the Raiders got going on. I think they're going to come out week 1. I mean, the Chargers, they got a lot of hype right now. I think Vegas is going to kind of cool that off a little bit this week, and I think they're going to come out and get a week 1 dub.
It's 50. It's one of those 50-50s, but I'm just going with the revenge team.
All right, Sunday night football. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to Dallas. Dallas always got to be on prime time. America's team going against the unretired QB in Tom Brady. Chris Godwin is questionable for this week. He might be able to come back. Pretty speedy recovery if he does come back for this week 1 game. But it is a newly looked offense. No more Antonio Brown. No more Rob Gronkowski. They've lost some guys in the O-line. Be interesting game, I guess you could say.
It will be interesting, but I don't think it should be. I completely agree with you. It's going to be closer than it should be, but Buccaneers will win the game still. The Cowboys got a lot worse, but they'll somehow still be close in the game.
Maybe Trevon Diggs gets a pick, and then Mike Evans still gets 150 on him. But overall, I'm kidding with that, by the way. I think Diggs will be all right. But I got Tampa Bay. I mean, they got Tom Brady. I mean, Dallas, it looks worse on paper this year compared to last year. Mike McCarthy, I mean, he's on a 1-year contract at this point. Sean Payton will be there next year. And I think Tampa Bay will honestly probably win this one fairly easy. But who knows? Was it just last year or 2 years ago that Dallas looked pretty good week 1 against Tampa Bay? So I guess we never know. But I think Tampa Bay is going to get this one.
Yeah, they also had Amari Cooper drop 30 fantasy points in that game, and he's no longer there. Who's their wide receiver 2?
Wide receiver 2 this week,
Jalen Tolbert.
Hey, and they got Turbin, who's looked pretty good in the return game out there. Is he wide? Yeah, he's a wide receiver, right? He's not corner. I think
he's a wide receiver. Yeah.
Yeah. So as long as CD drops 30 fantasy points for me this week, I'm chilling. I'm absolutely chilling. And then it's only 1 Monday night game this week. Looks like for some reason I thought there's usually always 2 Monday night games, but I only see 1 Monday night game, and we got another revenge game. We got Denver traveling to Seattle. Pete Carroll's out here basically telling the fans to boo Russell Wilson when he comes back. That seems kind of weird to me.
This isn't a revenge game, dude. You know damn well Russell was happy as shit when they traded him. Let's be honest.
He was happy, but I mean, it's not like they haven't been trying to trade him for the past couple of years.
They weren't trying to trade Russell Wilson the past couple years, dude. Come on.
They offered him for the first overall pick.
Yeah, I don't believe that. That they never confirmed that. That's been out there for 4 years, and I've never heard a single thing that's actually reliable about it.
They
were trying to get Josh Allen with the number 1 pick too. I heard.
Yeah, they were targeting Josh Allen. They've also offered him to Arizona.
They wanted him at number 1, and then when Josh Allen was there at 7, they weren't trying to trade Russell Wilson for pick 6. That wouldn't have happened in an instant.
They were trying to trade. I know they're trying to trade Russell Wilson for the first overall pick and more stuff as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was just whenever. I don't feel like they were trying to trade Russ forever. I feel like that's bullshit. I feel like it's very easy to move a player like Russ. Let's be honest. You ask that you receive. That's what happens when you get a quarterback like that.
Typically. But who do you got? Denver at Seattle.
Denver. That's my lock of the week. Actually, Denver will win the game. I do expect Seattle to score more points than expected, but I think Denver will win by double digits.
Geno Smith is confirmed starting week 1, I believe, right?
Yes, he is.
Thought so. And actually, did you see the thing where the the Seahawks said they wanted to trade with the Broncos specifically because they wanted Drew Lock back.
Yeah, that
you see that?
whoever's reporting all the Seahawks shit's just lying, dude.
It was an ESPN guy. I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm pretty sure it was like someone I saw Schefter retweeted the article, stuff like that. But, anyways, Denver won this one. I think it's actually going to be a bit closer than people expect. I wouldn't be surprised if Denver starts off kind of slow. Russell Wilson back in Seattle. His first game. It might throw him off guard a little bit. But overall, Denver's defense is very good. The offense is just much better than Seattle's, but Seattle has a lot of underrated talent on there, so I think it's going to be much closer than people expect. But overall, Denver's a better team. I have them in week 1.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think Rashad Penny's going to be good this week?
I do, as long as the game does not get out of hand too quickly, which I don't expect it to.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be no Kenneth Walker on Chris Carson retired over the offseason. I feel like even DJ Dallas, I remember hearing's out. Maybe not. But, Rashad Penny was an absolute monster at the end of the year last year. So as long as Denver doesn't put 10 people in the box,
Yeah.
I think he'll be good.
That's all the games, bro.
Yeah, that's all the games. Overall, though, NFL is finally back. I'm so excited. Until tomorrow, if the Colts extend their streak to an extra season of losing week 1. It's already not been a great day for me.
Let me tell you this, bro. If I'm going to the Dolphins game, you know this. So if I have to go there and we lose, and I have to drive home and pay my bets, it's gonna be a very sad day for me.
It could be a lot worse. I can tell you that. Trust me.
Yeah, you could drive for an away game to see your team make the playoffs and then lose to the worst.
All right, I hope you guys did enjoy this podcast. If you guys
drive 5 hours home, and then
if you guys enjoyed this podcast, make sure you guys go ahead and follow. If you guys are on YouTube, make sure you follow and leave a like. If you guys are on Spotify Apple Podcasts, make sure you guys go ahead and follow and leave a 5-star rating. You have any final words?
And then get home and find out the Steelers.
All right, catch you guys later.
See you guys.